What's up, dudes? Here we have the brand new, recently released Hot Toys Sideshow exclusive 1/6 scale Amazing Spider-Man 2 Spider-Man collectible figure. Man, that's a mouthful to say. And I can't even tell you how excited I was to get this. I was literally looking at the tracking almost the entire week. I knew it was going to be shipped. I can't even describe how excited I was to see this figure. If you saw my last review, the last words I said with that Hot Toys figure was, I can't wait to see this suit because I know the suit is going to be knocked right out of the park. And without further ado, let's get right into this. It's a standard shoebox design. The box is very nice. It says, I made a choice, this is my path, The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I mean, it could have been a lot more artsy and a lot more better like The Amazing Spider-Man 1's, but hey, it is what it is. Here we have the panel here that usually comes with standard Hot Toys figures, with all the artists' names who worked on it, with a very generic Spidey picture with him posing, doing the webbing thing. And here we have the figure! After you take that panel out, we see Spider-Man. Look at that suit. Even before you get him out of the box, it's just amazing. He comes with all his little accessories, the jacket, the vest, you know, the scarf, the beanie, the backpack, the blowhorn, and of course, the Sideshow exclusive plutonium case, of course, with 4 strands of different cobweb designs. Man, I just can't wait to get this figure out of the box. Let's not waste any time, shall we? Let's get him right out of the box. Let's go. Alright, let's do this. Now, getting him out of the box this way, I would not advise. It can be a little bit of a pain, but just because I want to show you guys what's in the box, the way it came shipped, I'm doing it for you guys, so here you go. Let's get this out of the way. Come on. Come on. There we go. Alright. I wouldn't do that. Once again, I wouldn't recommend that. Now, Spider-Man comes in 3 different casings. The first casing is the figure itself, with all his accessories. It pins down the accessories. The second layer is Spidey, and then the very, very back is I believe the hands, the stand, and the extra plating for the stand. But yes, you can see all the different hands, you can see the different plating, the different artwork piece, the exclusive artwork piece, which I'm not terribly fond of. I think it looks very tacky, I think it looks weird, I think it doesn't go well with the stand, especially if you're going to be posing Spider-Man. This isn't preferably the art piece you want to have on your stand. I just think it looks tacky, and it doesn't match up with the character whatsoever. But you can see the different hands, you can see the different magnets. Now this toy comes with brand new technology, which I will explain in a little bit. But here we have 2 pairs of webbing hands, 2 pairs of calm hands, 2 pairs of what appears to be wall crawling hands, but I can't even tell you what they are. 2 hands for the blowhorns and 2 fisted hands, ready to be able to punch all of the bad guys, like Alexis Siskevich. Now, this toy does come with of course, standard generic instruction manual. Comes with the stand, the dynamic stand, which should have been in the first Amazing Spider-Man figure, but hey, at least we get it in part 2, so I can't complain about that. And of course, the extra art piece that goes with the stand, and the clip, so you can attach Spidey, so you can do all the poses. That's about it. That's about everything that he comes with. These are the accessories. The vest, which I failed miserably at trying to open, which I'm not too terribly fond of. I think this is, without a doubt, hands down, the weakest part of the presentation of this figure. I mean, I can't even get the vest for this thing down, and I don't feel like prodding it too much because you do risk the potential of breaking the vest, and of course, with a figure that costs this much, I really don't want to be going and breaking it on my first try, so I just kind of gave up. But yes, the vest is very nice material, has a little bit of a fabric in there that allows it to not crumple up. I can't say much about the scarf, it's just a scarf. It is what it is. The backpack is made out of a nice material, it looks nice, it feels nice. You can definitely feel a piece of cotton that was stuffed in there to give it that overall fill look. But the beanie is a beanie. I mean, I can't describe it, and the blowhorn is a blowhorn. I mean, the megaphone. What can you really say about these accessories? They are without a doubt the suckiest part of this entire presentation, and I would have been happier with anything else rather than what we got here. But of course, this being the Sideshow exclusive collectible figure, it comes with the 1/6 scale plutonium case, which is nice. The glass part does move, it rotates. The painting on it is really nice, but I wish we could have gotten a little bit more than just one. Considering all the accessories we had with this figure absolutely blow mega chunks, this is all we get for it being an exclusive, and I'm not terribly fond of it. It stands up nice, it looks nice, but that's about as much as we get with this. It is what it is. The webbing strands as well are not my particular cup of tea. They are definitely a hit or miss type deal for many people. I personally think that they took a very big dip in quality in comparison to the Amazing Spider-Man 1s, and even in comparison to the Sam Raimi Spider-Man 3 Hot Toys webbing strands. The lack of detail on this webbing strand, and it's really hard to focus in on the camera here, but you can definitely see it looks like a Capri Sun straw with puff paint put over it to make it look like it's somewhat of a webbing design, and it's horrid. It looks bad. It looks terrible, especially when you rack it in comparison to the Amazing Spider-Man 1's webbing strands, which weren't that bad, but they weren't great either. I've seen many people online who have done more of a professional looking webbing strands with different types of paint applied to the webbing strands to make it look like a more realistic web pattern and more realistic to the films. But on here, these webbing strands are mostly clear. There are some hints of gray. They don't look great, but the best part about them is the fact that we no longer have those little rings that go around the pegs of the figure, like the Amazing Spider-Man 1's webbing strands, which I'm lying down right now. As a matter of fact, the webbing in this particular figure goes into the bottom of the web shooter that comes sewn into the figure itself, which I'll get into in a little bit. But as you can see, you know, in comparison, the Amazing Spider-Man 1's webbing strand on my left and the Amazing Spider-Man 2's on my right, the one on the left has a lot more definition to it as opposed to the one on the right. I mean, even without the clear-cut focus of the camera, which, again, my fault, my camera sucks, the one on the left is the definite victor when it comes to the overall quality. So the Amazing Spider-Man 1's webbing strands definitely do take the cake, although I prefer the insert option of the Amazing Spider-Man 2's. But once again, the Amazing Spider-Man 1's, all four webbing strands, even the longer ones, completely blow the ones from the Amazing Spider-Man 2 out of the water. It's actually kind of sad, thinking that, you know, they had all this time to perfect the webbing, and they did not. Shame on you, Hot Toys. And let's just segregate them all so I don't confuse myself of which one's which, and don't put the wrong ones in the wrong case. Okay, those are all the Amazing Spider-Man ones. And here we have the Amazing Spider-Man with its dynamic stand. Time to see the figure. Oh man, the anticipation. Just look at this figure as we scale up. Look at that emblem, that insignia, and then of course, Spidey himself. Just wow. You couldn't ask for a more picture-perfect representation of the Amazing Spider-Man 2 movie replication suit. Like, it's awesome. It's awesome. It's amazing, for lack of a better term. The suit is near identical to that of the film. The only thing that I could say that I have a bit of criticism with is the fact that I feel as if the red could have been a lot more darker, as well as the half hands coloring. As you can see right here, you can see where the hand segregates with the metallic piece for the magnets. That could have been painted a little bit more to match the suit, but again, there's not much you can really do about it. It is a plastic piece against a mesh piece, so it's obviously going to be a mixed match color, but they did a really fantastic job here. Quickly, let me just run down and show you how the hands work on this thing. Now, as you can see, it is segregated. The way it works is that it is in half hand. The way they did this was that half the hand is actually sewn in to the figure. That way the suit matches up and you won't have to worry about the web shooters being on a line. Here you can see the magnet with the two little pegs. Now the way this works is, on the figure itself, there's two pegs where you can insert the half hand in, and it's held together by a magnet. Now, Hot Toys has a really bad history with magnets, and no more than my third time of me taking out his hand and putting in another hand did the magnet come out, and I had to super glue it. And if you do have to super glue in your magnets with your Amazing Spider-Man 2 figure, I suggest you be very careful not to overdo it so that it gets on the fabric and potentially ruins it. But the hands go in nicely. I mean, sometimes because I feel like the hands aren't symmetrical to the overall cut of the half hand, it's a little bit of a struggle to put in sometimes. And you can see me here kind of like struggling to put in his web hand. But it does fit in nicely most of the time. It is comfortable. It fits in nicely. Most of the times it looks seamless with the half hand design. I do like how they integrated it with the webbing pattern as opposed to not doing that, which could have potentially looked really bad. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's a very ingenious technology. It's the first figure, I believe, to do that half hand technology, and who knows, maybe in the future we'll see a revision of this and it'll look 10 times better. But as far as articulation, he has elbow joints which fully rotate, he has an armpit joint, he has shoulder bicep swivel, arm swivel, but you can't do it all that much because of course you'll rip the suit. It's sewn in there, of course. He has an ab crunch, bends, of course, he has the chest, and then of course you can rotate his head, but I suggest be very, very careful because you can rip the fabric. It is sewn on, just like the Amazing Spider-Man 1s. And of course you can bend 2 points at the knee, then go in and out with his arms, waist articulation as well. I mean, what doesn't this figure have? He even has an ankle pivot, and of course even the tips of his toes can point in and out at a 45-degree angle. You can't get it to do it that much, but it is possible to do it a bit. The boots do restrict you, and of course you don't want to ruin the fabric, you don't want to bend them too much, you don't want to put your hands on the webbing pattern too much because it can potentially damage the painting. So, I mean, this figure, what can I say? Very articulate, very smooth, very nice. Of course you have to be very careful with how you articulate the figure, but I mean, there's things that you could do with this figure that I couldn't even dream of doing with the Amazing Spider-Man 1s. And here are just some of the poses that I've been able to do with this guy for the few couple of hours that I've had him so far. I mean, it's genuinely awesome stuff. The dynamic stand, of course, adds a lot more posability to this figure as opposed to the Amazing Spider-Man 1s, which just came with a cradle stock, and of course it wasn't all that great. I mean, you could do basic poses with Spidey, you couldn't go all out, but I mean, like, just look at how awesome this figure poses. Words literally can't describe the overall gleeful grin I had when I managed to get this guy in poses that I didn't even think were possible. And it's a genuinely awesome figure. I mean, the accessories suck. The specific art piece, the exclusive art piece, does suck. For the price this guy comes at $239, $240, I believe. I paid at Sideshow Collectibles. I believe you can get him for cheaper. He is not worth the price, honestly. But if you're a hardcore Spidey fan, I would definitely say pick him up. He's a lot bigger than the Amazing Spider-Man 1 Spidey, and I believe it to be the boots. I feel like there's a difference in height between the boots that he uses in the Amazing Spider-Man 1 figure as opposed to Amazing Spider-Man 2. I feel like he has high tops in comparison to his tennis shoes. But yeah, you can definitely tell the overall quality has increased. The suit looks better. It's made out of a different fabric. What can I say about this figure? If you are a hardcore Spidey fan, go out, buy it. If not, and you're kind of thinking about it, wait for a price drop or get them at Alter Ego Comics. Definitely see out the lowest amount of money you can pay for this figure because the accessories, again, are not worth it. This figure isn't a definite buy just because it isn't a complete package, but again, it is one of those figures where you look at and you can admire and you can just be like, wow, that is amazing. This is my Spider-Man Hot Toys Slideshow exclusive review. Hope you guys enjoyed. Take care and stick around because that Ultimate Spider-Man review is definitely coming soon.